Once again, we want to What's up? I'm Shanice and welcome to the third episode of my cycle syncing series. If you have not already watched episodes 1 and 2, I will have them linked down below and you can watch them later. So for now, I'll just do a quick recap. So episode 1 was all about cycle syncing, which is just the practice in which you alter your diet and your lifestyle according to whatever menstrual phase you're in. Because remember, there's 4. In episode 2, we talked about the follicular phase, aka pre-ovulation. We just talked about our hormones, what was going on during that time, leading up to today's episode, ovulation. The purpose of the ovulation phase is to grow the egg so that it can be prepared for implantation. Now, let's talk about hormones. What's going on? So our follicular stimulating hormone that we discussed in episode 2 is on the rise, as well as your luteinizing hormone. Now, your luteinizing hormone is regulated by your pituitary gland, and this basically just signals the egg for release. We've also got estrogen that is at its peak, and then we have progesterone. Now, estrogen and progesterone are working together to build that uterine lining so that your egg has a place for implantation. Okay. Now we've got our hormones out the way, what else is going on? During this phase, your queen egg is preparing to leave the ovary nest and travel through the fallopian tubes and into the uterus. So your ovulation phase is in comparison to your summer phase, aka your social phase. Ovulation phase lasts anywhere between 3 and 4 days. Scientifically, we're looking for a mate to fertilize the egg that was just released, which means we're naturally feeling frisky at this time. It's not just your imagination. So go on dates or have some romantic time with your significant other. As I said, this is our social phase, but not only will our social skills be high, our communication skills will be high. Our ovulation phase is an expressive time. So if you have any important conversations that need to be had, do it during this time, whether it's your parents or your spouse or your boss for a new raise. Your ovulation phase is ideal for team projects or meetings or parties, and like I said, dates, anything having to do with being social. Speaking of projects, in our follicular phase, we were planning and brainstorming, but in our ovulation phase, we are acting and doing. So now is the time to act on those projects. Also, our energy is high, so we need to find a release for that. So this is a great time to do any HIIT workouts, something that really challenges you and pushes you. And since your energy is high and your social skills are high, it's a really good time to do some group exercises. So maybe boot camp or Zumba or a spin class. It is imperative for you to release your energy because if you don't, it will just present itself in other ways. So restlessness at night, you may not get the best quality of sleep or even mood swings. Let's move on to food. So our food goals for this week are going to be detoxification. We are going to support our liver and our gut health during this time because we are trying to eliminate any excess estrogen because excess estrogen leads to breast tenderness, like I said, mood swings, and sugar cravings. Ideally, we're looking for high fiber foods, so raw vegetables would be great during this time. Another food goal is going to be antioxidants. We need to boost our immune system so that we can develop a healthy egg. We're looking for omega-3s. The fatty acids in the omega-3s help progesterone production, which is essential for lining your uterus and creating a safe place for your egg. We are also looking at foods with vitamin V. This helps with the egg release and it helps with your energy production. We're also looking for foods with zinc because that helps with progesterone production, which goes back to creating a thick uterine lining for your egg. Now, in Women Code, Alyssa Vitti has a list of suggested foods for each of your phases, and I just came up with some recipes by incorporating those suggested foods. In your ovulation phase, your energy is high and your metabolism is slowing down, which means you don't need as much food as often. Once again, we're thinking about summer. In the summertime, we're not gonna have hearty, heavy foods. Usually in the summer, you like to go for light, fresh, crisp, hydrating foods. That's what we're gonna do during your ovulation phase. So let's start with breakfast. So for breakfast, we went with a chia seed pudding. It had berries, coconut, and granola on it. Chia seeds are high in fiber and calcium and protein, and it's also got more omega-3s than salmon. I added berries, but I want to focus on the raspberries. Raspberries during your ovulation time are essential because they're high in folate and antioxidants. I added some coconut flakes. Coconut is another suggested food during this time, and it's great because it offers fiber, sodium, and calcium. For the morning snack, which would usually be after my workout, I just went for a pistachio muffin. Now, this is a vegan pistachio muffin, and the first 3 ingredients are pistachios, spinach, and bananas. And 2 of the 3 main ingredients are foods that we need for ovulation. Let's start with pistachios. Pistachios are high in protein. They have prebiotic properties, so that helps our gut. Once again, we're trying to eliminate any excess hormones. It also has immune boosting properties like zinc and copper. As we all know, dark leafy greens are essential for our everyday health, but spinach is high in folate, which helps with the production of progesterone. And spinach is also high in vitamin B, which improves ovulation. It also has iron and magnesium for vitamin absorption. So for lunch, we just went with tuna patties and some broccoli. Ideally, you'd want to get salmon.
Is this the Norwegian salmon that I asked for? Because I need my omega-3s.
But salmon was not on sale this week, and I just could not bring myself to pay full price for salmon, so I just went with the tuna that I had in my pantry. I made these little tuna patties, super easy. I'll link the recipe down below. They were bomb. So good, crispy, and pretty filling too. And I ended up making 3 patties out of the 1 can. Tuna is high in omega-3s. It helps with progesterone balance, because sometimes estrogen can get a little dominant. It also has vitamin B6, which helps regulate serotonin. And for my side, I would have gone for Brussels sprouts because I thought I had them, but we didn't. So I went with broccoli instead. And it's okay because broccoli is part of the cruciferous family. So broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, all of those kinds of vegetables help your gut health. We want to feed the good bacteria so that it can get rid of the bad bacteria. We want to eliminate any of those extra hormones. I didn't do an afternoon snack because a lot of the time you won't feel hungry, but if you are hungry during this time, please eat. Just because ideally our bodies don't need as much to eat doesn't mean that you shouldn't listen to your body. I didn't need a snack that day, but if you do, please listen to your body. For dinner, we went with like the Southwestern Buddha bowl. The 3 main ingredients are going to be the quinoa, the corn, and the tomatoes. So let's start with quinoa. Quinoa is high in fiber. It has a low glycemic index, so your blood sugar stays low, which essentially helps your organs. We're not overloading your pancreas, so it's helping everything just kind of remain stable. It's also got anti-inflammatory properties as well as antiviral properties, and it contains all 9 amino acids, which are essential for building protein. Tomatoes, which are high in antioxidants, and then corn as another filling grain. It essentially ended up being more like a salad, so I ended up adding corn chips to it, which took it to the next level. It was so good and really filling too. So that's the end of the ovulation phase. Next week, we'll be tackling the luteal phase, which is the phase prior to your period. So we're talking PMS, what to eat to avoid PMS, and all of the symptoms that they bring. And I want to try to reframe the way you think about your period, because it doesn't have to be painful or debilitating. It can just be another week in your life. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next Friday.